Imagine coming home to find your family's century-old ranch carved up like a cheap pie, a shiny new fence stabbing right through your hayfields, courtesy of the neighborhood busybodies who think they own the world. That's exactly what hit Jake Harlan one crisp Texas morning, as he stared at the wooden monstrosity defiling his land. But oh, the sweet irony. This wasn't just a boundary blunder. It was the spark that torched an entire HOA kingdom of lies. Jake had inherited the 50-acre spread from his grandpa, a no-nonsense farmer who'd taught him to spot snakes in the grass, literal and figurative. The place sat on the fringe of Willow Creek Estates, a cookie-cutter suburb where picket fences hid petty tyrants. Jake kept to himself, raising cattle and minding his business. But whispers spread. That loner's hiding something illegal out there, neighbors muttered at block parties, egged on by HOA gossip. He heard the rumors, accusations of unlicensed structures, even bootlegging. But Jake just smiled inwardly, noting every barbed comment like tally marks on a barn wall. Then came the fence. Jake traced it from his gate to the creek. Spotting the HOA plaque, Community Enhancement Project, per Ordinance 42A. Fury bubbled, but he played it cool, strolling into the HOA office like a man buying stamps. Behind the desk lounged Bertha Klein, the HOA prez, a rotund figure in a too-tight blazer, her face a mask of faux politeness, lips pursed like she'd sucked a lemon. "Mr. Harlan, how delightful," she cooed, not looking up from her spreadsheet of fines. "Here to pay your dues?" Jake leaned in. "Dues? I ain't part of your club, Bertha. That fence's on my dirt." She tapped her pen. "Oh, but we've expanded for the greater good, safety. Aesthetics, you know. County approved it. No need for your input. We're all in this together." Her smile was all teeth, no warmth, as if together meant under my thumb. Jake swallowed the bile. But that night, under cover of stars, he revved his old John Deere and yanked the fence posts like rotten teeth, piling the splintered mess curbside at Bertha's McMansion. "Community enhancement," he muttered with a grim chuckle. The next day, a summons slapped his door, $15,000 in damages for vandalizing association assets. Bertha's lawsuit screamed about upholding standards and protecting property values. Her court filing laced with snide jabs at Jake's rustic lifestyle clashing with modern harmony. Neighbors clucked tongues, posting online. Finally, someone's reigning in that hillbilly. Jake stayed silent, but his eyes sharpened. Time to dig. Whispers turned to shouts as Bertha ramped up. Anonymous tips to code enforcement about Jake's unsafe barn. Flyers warning of eyesores lowering our prestige. At a town hall, she preached, "We must preserve our idyllic community from outliers." Her voice dripping honeyed venom, while shooting Jake a smug glance. He sat in the back, recording every word, every hypocritical nod from her cronies. But Bertha's machine started glitching. Her expansions involved forged surveys, backroom deals spiking taxes on edge properties to force sales. Jake hit the county archives, unearthing rejected petitions and phantom rezonings signed by Bertha's hubby, a shady developer. "Well, ain't that convenient?" Jake whispered, photocopying the fraud like buried treasure. The showdown erupted at the courthouse. Bertha waddling in with her lawyer, blustering about civic duty, while her cheeks jiggled with feigned indignation. Jake's attorney laid out the evidence. Fake deeds, embezzled dues funneled to her vacations, even a torched outbuilding on another holdout's lot traced to her nephew's truck. Bertha sputtered, "This is slander. We're guardians of order." But the judge's gavel cracked like thunder. Case dismissed. HOA audited. Bertha indicted for fraud and conspiracy. Her empire crumbled, assets seized. Board scattered like rats. Neighbors turning on her with pitchfork-sharp testimonies. Jake watched her perp walk, Her blazer rumpled, face a bloated mask of defeat, and felt that dark, satisfying grin spread. In the end, Jake's ranch stood untouched, the air fresher without Bertha's nosy patrols. The county slapped new laws. No HOA overreach without consent. Her kingdom dissolved into a cautionary tale. But here's the twist that sticks. Was Jake the villain for ripping that fence? Or was Bertha the real outlaw, hiding behind rules to steal what wasn't hers?